Hi, hello. I'm Jenny. I am the coach, author, and an advocate for parents determined to raise emotionally healthy kids after separation or divorce. So, you're going to be watching a reading from my book, Healing Through Words, and this is a guide designed to help you communicate with your ex without causing emotional fallout for your children. So, whether you're dealing with high conflict co parenting, being misunderstood, or simply trying to stay calm in the chaos, this space is for you. So, let's dive in and explore how the right words can protect your child's peace and your own. And just to give you a pre-advance warning, I'm not perfect, and I'll probably fluff my words, and I'll probably make mistakes, and I'll probably screw something up here, there, or another. But it's purely because I'm so excited to be here with you today. So, chapter 4 is the neutral zone. So, if you want to watch chapters 1 through to 3, they are already on the live section of my YouTube channel. So, one of the most overlooked skills in co-parenting is the ability to separate emotion from logistics. Doesn't mean denying your feelings, it means knowing when to set them aside so that your decisions are guided by stability and not stress. So welcome to the neutral zone. It's not Star Trek, I promise. A mental and emotional space where your communication is clear, brief, respectful, and focused on the child and not the conflict. Because this isn't just about you anymore. This is about them. They didn't ask for this. So let's look at why the neutral zone matters. So when you operate from the neutral zone, you reduce friction. You stop trying to be understood by someone who may not be capable of empathy in the moment. You shift your focus from winning to managing. And most importantly, you build a foundation of emotional safety for your child. Neutral communication is less about what you feel and more about what your child needs. It centers on facts, plans, and agreements, not tone or triggers or trying to change the other person. So, this shift can really feel frustrating at first, especially when you feel like you're doing most of the emotional labor, or if not all of the emotional labor. But in the long run, it spares you the constant adrenaline spikes that come with reactivity. So it lowers the emotional temperature, and most importantly, it protects your child from the secondhand stress of adult conflict. So, what neutral communication looks like? It's really short and to the point. So, if you need to check on pickup time, pickup is still 4 p.m. today, correct? All you need there is a yes or no answer. It avoids sarcasm, it avoids guilt, and it avoids defense. Let me know if you're running behind. Very simple. It uses shared language. So let's confirm drop off time for Saturday. Does 10 a.m. still work? Again, we're not allocating blame, we are just checking the facts. It limits unnecessary explanation. I'm not available to swap days this week. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You're not a child anymore. It maintains tone neutrality, so even when the other parent does not. So when they're saying something to you that could be very inflammatory, you can just reply with noted, I'll keep the schedule as agreed. So think of it like a business communication. If you were at work, how would you respond? Polite, clear, and without emotional overload. You're managing a shared responsibility. So you need to start treating this like a business relationship. There's no more romantic relationship. That's gone. Your goal is not to be liked or understood. It's to be effective and grounded. That's it. That's all you need to be. So how to step into the neutral zone, because this does not come naturally. Trust me, it does not. It takes practice, and you'll screw up sometimes, and that's okay. It's just about when you screw up, you notice and you get it better for next time. Okay. So how to get there? So pre-write or practice. So if a conversation feels really charged, write your message in a notes app first or on paper. Then review it for neutrality. Ask yourself, would this escalate if I was to receive it? Or would it de-escalate the situation if I was to receive it? So you need to look at it from an outside perspective. You need to ask, is this about logistics or emotion? So if it's emotion, then it has no place. You need to journal that, or you need to vent it to a safe friend. If it's logistics, then you communicate it calmly. Do not confuse emotional processing with effective co-parenting. Co-parenting has no place for your emotions. This is a transactional relationship now, with your child being the transaction, that you are passing that child between you. You need to avoid bait. So if they will try to provoke, blame, or escalate the situation. 9 times out of 10, it will happen at some point or another, if not all of the time. And the way to overcome this is to not respond in kind. Stay on message. Respond to the part of the message that relates to the child's needs and ignore the rest. And I know that's really hard to do. I know. Been there. You don't have to tell me. It's really hard. But trust me, it makes life so much easier. And when I was trying to deal with somebody who wasn't communicating very well at all, and who is really, really baiting me for reaction, I literally had to put really strong boundaries in place and not respond. If it didn't relate to the child, I didn't respond. If it had nothing to do with the child, I did not respond. If they phoned me and started shouting and screaming, I hung up. I had clear boundaries. If you shout at me, I will not continue with this call. But even then, I put my boundaries in place, but I could have handled it better. And I've since learned the better ways of doing it, which is what I'm teaching you guys, so that you have a better way and not make the same mistakes that I made. So the last one here of how to step into the neutral zone is using BIF responses. Now, BIF stands for brief, informative, friendly, and firm. It's a simple structure that keeps the communication... Teeth are rebelling against me today. It keeps your communication productive. Over-explaining or defending your position rarely ends well. You don't have to over-explain or defend yourself to anybody. You just need to keep it brief, informative, friendly, and firm. That's it. So I'm going to give you some examples of neutral versus emotional messages. So emotional. You're never on time and it's exhausting. Change that to a neutral. Please confirm your arrival time so that we can plan accordingly. Emotional example. You clearly don't care about our kids' routine. Make it neutral. Sticking to a bedtime schedule really helps them settle. Thanks for keeping that consistent. Emotional. You're so selfish. I always have to accommodate you. Neutral. I'm not able to change our agreed schedule this week. Let's revisit it if something shifts. Emotional. You make everything difficult just to annoy me. Neutral. I'd like to focus on finalising the plans for this weekend. Please confirm by 5 p.m. tomorrow. Again, practice. Practice makes it so much easier, and you can try it with a friend. You know, if you've got a best friend that you talk over everything with, try it out, write it down, try it out with them first, but always, always, always breathe before you respond. There is nothing that says, unless your child is in a life or death accident, there is nothing that says you have to respond in the next 5 minutes, all right? You have time to breathe. Now, there's going to be times that neutral doesn't feel fair. And there's going to be times when staying neutral feels really unjust, especially if the other parent is dishonest, manipulative, or constantly disrespectful, and you might feel that they're getting away with bad behavior. You might even question whether being neutral sends the message that their actions are acceptable. But neutrality isn't about letting things slide. It's about choosing where your power goes. And you can still hold boundaries. You can still use legal channels when needed, and you can still advocate for your child. Neutral does not mean passive. It means precise. It's a strategy, not a surrender. So if you need to document behaviours for court or legal purposes, do it privately. Let the court system see the emotional patterns, but do not give your ex more emotional content to work with. Let their behaviour stand on its own while you remain the calm, consistent parent. Now, building the habit of neutrality. Like any new skill, as I've already said, neutrality takes practice. You won't get it perfect every time, and that's okay. What matters most, the most important thing, is your direction, not perfection. So start small. Choose one conversation a week to practice your neutral voice. Ask a friend to review messages before you send them. Reflect on past interactions and consider how a neutral approach could have changed the tone or the outcome. And over time, becoming neutral becomes second nature. And with it comes the greatest gift that you can give your child, which is a home environment that feels calmer, even when the family structure has changed. So your calm is not a gift to your ex. It's not. It's a lifeline for your child. In the next chapter, we're going to explore how children are the hidden... Teeth again. They're being really rebellious today. In the next chapter, we're going to explore how children are the hidden audience to every interaction and how even private conversations create lasting impressions. Okay. So for between now and the next drop of chapter 5, I want you to practice as much as you can. You can practice this kind of skill on any aspect of your life. It does not have to just apply to your co-parenting. You might have a friend that oversteps. You might have a work colleague that just pushes your boundaries a little bit. You can practice on anybody. For anything, you might have parents that just drive you nuts. You can practice on them. These skills that we're talking about in the book don't just apply to co-parenting. You can apply them to any aspect of your life. All right. So this is really important. You are in control of your reaction. You can't control what somebody else does, but you can control how you respond. And that's what I'd really like for you to take into next week, into this next sort of segment. Is I want you to take that forward, that you are in control. Nobody else. Nobody can force you unless they're holding you at gunpoint. And even then there comes an end point. But you are not in control of what happens necessarily, but you are in control of how you react to that event. Okay? So that's what we want to hold on to, and practice makes perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you've got any comments, please let me know. If you want to pick up a copy of the book, it's available on Amazon right now. Just search my name, Jenni Rock, with an I. It's with an I. Now, if today's excerpt spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you don't miss future readings and real world strategies. You're not alone in this. I've helped thousands of parents across the globe shift the narrative, protect their kids, and regain control of their lives. One day I'm going to nail this. I'm going to have it so that I don't even need to read it anymore. If you want to go deeper, head to www.coparentingwithoutconflict.com. Co-parenting is all one word. Co-parenting without conflict, all one word. .com to explore coaching resources and support made just for you. So keep speaking with intention, and remember, your voice shapes your child's world.